Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I want to start with a couple of special thanks for events last week during the President's Club week. You know, we always talk about teamwork and how we help each other out. Yesterday was a great example of that.
Pete and I connected up more than 20 years ago. I'm trying to build this idea that I had to get into the cabling business for IBM PC networks. And we had 2 interviews. And in the first interview, he was fresh into the job market, coming out of another company that had been in the interconnect business. I was impressed with Pete that this was probably the most pompous guy with the biggest ego that I'd seen in an awful long time. And another candidate came along that had more direct industry experience, so I went with the other candidate and thanked Pete for coming by for the interview, but goodbye. Well, that individual failed, and in less than a year later, I'm back to square one, and I'm out looking for somebody to run this business. I thought about that interview with Pete. He'd had a great attitude adjustment. I'd had an attitude adjustment too, and I started realizing, hey, this guy could really make something happen here.
When Pete was hired in 1988, I distinctly recall thinking of him when he walked in the door as a young warrior. We didn't know where he was coming from or where he was going.
When I started, it was all about joining the organization to start a new group that was related to data cables. We're a mainframe business in the mainframe cabling market, and we really needed to grow into the new PC business market. The PC business has come and gone, networking has grown, mainframe cabling still exists, but the really, really cool part is the company's been able to market and grow to ever-changing segments of the business community.
Pete was the perfect candidate for president of the 2 companies. And I'm sure that Pete thought that he was also, but I may have been thinking about that long before he was. So I wanted him to broaden his base within the company, and in addition to just running the Cable Express group at the company, I saw to it that he had an opportunity to move around a little bit and get some experience in other areas of the business.
Pete's made the transition from running the Cable Express division and brand to president of both CXtec and Terakai really well, because over the years, the 20-something years he's been here, he's been very well-rounded in the different business units, heading up the entire sales force and bringing that passion for a brand into both CXtec and Terakai.
Pete has done an amazing job bringing the sales floor and the marketing departments together. He's really created a synergy that's almost textbook-like. Most companies don't have their sales floor and their marketing department walking hand in hand towards the same goal.
My philosophy on sales and marketing is probably a little different than most people's philosophy. In the organization, I'm well known for saying that nothing happens until somebody sells something. But the reality of that situation is you have to have operational excellence, but more importantly, you have to know who your customers are and how to connect with those customers.
Pete has a great understanding of technology and how to use it to drive business and productivity. His ability to connect those dots is a really unique trait, and it's not found often in the industry.
Pete's a social media geek. He's on Twitter, he's on Foursquare, he's checked in so many times on Foursquare, he's the mayor of New York City, Cancun, and all the cruise lines. He really is our poster child for social media. He understands how we can use it and how it can help us be successful in business.
What sets Pete apart in the business, I would say, are 2 things. First would be his knowledge of the business. He's been here, he's such a history with CXtec that he knows the business inside and out, and that makes him a huge resource. I think the other thing that sets him apart is his passion for sales. And as a sales leader in the company, I couldn't ask for a better captain of the ship, so to speak, with respect to his passion for sales. So he conveys a sense of urgency in every communication across the company about how important selling is.
While most companies would cut back on their marketing dollars when sales aren't where they need to be, Pete does the opposite. He actually invests in marketing knowing that that's going to help to get the sales where they need to be.
During my tenure at CXtec and Terakai, marketing has evolved significantly. When I first joined Cable Express many years ago, it was about direct mail and catalogs. How many could you print and how many people could you mail them to? In today's environment, it's about database marketing. It's about listening to what your customers say. It's about connecting with your customers on a one-on-one basis and making sure your message is relevant. If you have the right message, they'll want to buy from you.
We tweet and blog for all 3 companies. Our salespeople use LinkedIn to sell and be more successful. From our Jones Soda to Thinking Putty, there's no idea too out there. Pete is always willing to try new and different things.
About 15 years ago, a mentor of mine gave me a quote that said, "It's a funny thing about life. If you expect great things, you very often achieve them." That's kind of the philosophy that I use when dealing with the people that I work with or on my team. If you really set high expectations and hire the best and brightest and most creative people, it's really easy to achieve your goals. You have to give people space, you have to hold them accountable, but most of all, you have to help them to succeed.
He has good judgment, and he really knows our culture because he really helped form the culture that we have at the company today.
We have an environment that we work hard and we play hard, and we just don't talk about saying that. We actually live those terms.
Our culture is awesome. It's one of the best parts of working at CXtec. We do a lot of things that we try to keep the environment very inspired and motivated and high energy.
Hey, listen up everybody! Coming out to you from the MVPs. Give it up for Cindy Reno with $50,000 equal to new Cisco. Make some noise!
We really relish and applaud the efforts and the successes of our sales folks.
How many companies have a great band? And not just a great band, we have the Dinosaurs. The Dinosaurs are the best band in Central New York.
I think our culture also shows through when we're working. So we may be training, we do flash mobs during the day, and we use that as a way to do quick trainings. So they're real fast, and we pull people away from their jobs to walk away to gain some new information or knowledge. Could be a flash mob that's training and very serious, or it could be something a little more spontaneous.
Con los terroristas.
And do the Harlem Shake.
So we try to mix it up.
A lot of new employees comment, "What do you guys put in our water?" It's truly a fun place to work.
Pete has a great open door policy, and it's just that. It's open all the time. So you don't have to schedule time with him or give him advance notice. You can walk in, and it doesn't matter what role you're in the company. Pete is accessible to all of us. And so I think people really respect that, so much so that they go to him for anything.
Hey Pete, can I ask you a question?
Sure, Colleen.
Do these shoes go with this outfit?
I'm not really sure. I'm the last person you want fashion advice from.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Brian, what?
I've been mulling this over all weekend, and I can't come to a conclusion.
Oh, what now?
Team Edward or Team Dave?
Edward.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pete has a great saying, it's "I get my lovin' at home," and I think it's really funny. I think what it says is he has a huge heart, though, when it comes to balancing work and home.
Pete is an extraordinary husband to Kathy. He treats her like a princess. His son, Jason, and his daughter, Karina, are the stars in his sky. Pete is the most loving and caring person that I know with his family.
Pete personally is pretty much the same as he is at work. He's very dedicated and focused. He's dedicated to his family as much as he is dedicated to the people at work. Outside of work, he's a little bit of a foodie. He has great taste in wine, which makes him an awesome person to go out to dinner with, especially when he picks up the tab.
Well, being committed to the community is one of our core values. Pete supports that. He really leads by example. For over a decade at least, he's been the chair of the United Way Committee for us. He's rang the bell up at Dome Day for Salvation Army. He's walked with a balloon at Light the Night. In fact, just last week we served meals down at the Samaritan Center. It's very important that we all kind of walk the talk and live by example that Pete sets.
I think this award's perfect for Pete. He's a past president of SME, and he's a consummate sales and marketing professional.
He understands the industry and the philosophy that says the customer comes first, that the business must make a profit, and that the business must grow. And he knows that by achieving all those sorts of things, he's going to be able to provide opportunity for the employees to grow their careers and for them to prosper, as well as being able to help out in our community.
1, 2, 3.
It's time!
about Pete.
Who's Pete? I thought we were here to talk about Luke Bryan. So the next one was, what was Pete like when you hired him more than 20 years ago?
You don't want to know.
Pete's travel schedule can be really hectic, but knowing he has committed and hardworking managers to man the ship while he is gone makes it easier for him to leave.
I put chapstick on too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You're short.
Look at me.
You're short. I feel like I'm looking at the floor. The reason I glance that way is because she freaks me out to look at her like that.
Nice. Pete has done an amazing job bringing the sales and
Following my role, now I'm looking at you. I know where it's going.
Take 25.
See, I made you feel good. I'm doing worse than you did.
What's it like working with Pete?
That's a really great question. Okay, well, being committed.
Excuse me? Did you just make a word?
What's it like to work with Pete?
Cooler? More cool? What's the word? Cooler.
Do we even have to talk about my career?
You're getting the crystal ball. We just gave it to him because he's a nice guy and he likes Mickey. So why not? How has Pete changed or grown over the years?
He doesn't get to see the outtakes of this, right? No. You can't let him. I mean, this is all part of the deal. You can't let him sit down and look at what did Bill really say, between the stuff that you used.